You can't actually swing from a bullwhip. Unfortunate truth. I know. Especially for anyone like me who grew up watching Indiana Jones and wanting to do it. You can't. It's kind of impossible. Even if you were to make your bullwhip out of the strongest hide there is, kangaroo hide, and loaded it with a fine core such as shot core, made it 12 plats. Can't do it. Wouldn't work. Firstly, whatever your bullwhip's grabbing onto is probably going to let go because of your weight. And even if it has a nice tight hold, it's probably going to snap when you're swinging. The only way to properly do it is to load the core of your whip with wire. But if you were to do that, then for one, you can't coil it nicely, and you can't whip it at all, actually. It just kind of lays there all straight and narrow, because it's got a wire in it. In this modern day and age, if people were to see you walking out and about wearing a frock coat, they would assume that you are going to or have come from a wedding, and they'd be right in that assumption. However, go back 100 years, 1918, even a little bit further back, the frock coat had nothing to do with weddings. It was never associated with weddings. It was just the standard garb for gentlemen. Theodore Roosevelt wore frock coats when he addressed the American public. It was just a fine piece of clothing. It was so well liked, in fact, that officers of the Civil War, both Union and Confederacy, wore a frock coat of some type. You know there's a super easy way to figure out which war your helmet comes from? It is. Most people will tell you, look at the liner. That'll tell you. This is a Korean War liner, so that would mean that this is a Korean War helmet, yeah? No. No. See, liners are removable. This is my Vietnam era helmet. This is its liner. These are easily removable, and there's a reason for that. Liners are made out of fiberglass, so they tend to break often, as to where the shell, well, the shell's metal. I mean, it'd take a bullet ripping through it for you to have to replace this. Other than that, these bad boys last basically forever. But because liners are removable, there tends to be a problem in trying to figure out which war your helmet comes from. Like I said, the liner of my helmet is Korean War. If it were World War II, it wouldn't be OD green number 7, it'd be OD green number 3, so a lighter shade of green. How did I figure out that this is a World War II helmet? You see that break in the band? That's not a natural break. Well, it is and it isn't. This break did not happen because of combat. This break has always been there. You see, the helmet and the band are two separate items that are put together. And if there is a front break, that means it's the Second World War. With this bad boy, the break is in the back. So if the break is in the back, that means it is Korean War to Vietnam War. Pretty interesting, huh? Okay, I gotta go. I just got some errands to run, but I gotta go. Okay. 2 more facts, and then I gotta go. Alright? Alright. This is an M41, or a model of 1941, combat jacket. from the Second World War. Well, it's not from the Second World War, it's a reproduction. And I really love this jacket. But an original M41 is an interesting piece of history. You see, original M41s are uncomfortable jackets to wear because the liner was sewed incorrectly, so it causes fitting issues. Not only that, but it was meant for you to wear in European weather. Cold, wet, European weather. And the problem with this jacket is that the wool liner is too thin. Most soldiers had to turn this inside out to get any sort of functional warmth out of it. The pockets, right here, are nice, but they don't really hold much. However, after the war, when these became surplus items, and, well, a lot of GIs just brought this home, some had torn the liners out during the war, causing a far more fitting and far more comfortable jacket. So it wasn't too uncommon to see this coat floating around in the ether during the 1950s. This caused clothing manufacturers to create jackets that are extremely similar to this one. Here is an example. This is a common windbreaker. The jacket your dad and grandpa wear a lot, this was the basis for it. Jumanji. Now, I know, you're probably sick and tired of seeing it on this channel, but this is the last fact, and a really fun one too. So, Jumanji isn't just some made-up gobbledygook by Chris Van Allsburg to name his cursed board game. In fact, Jumanji has a real-world meaning. It is an actual word. It's a Zulu word, which means many effects. Befitting title, don't you think? Alrighty, there you have it. More interesting, if albeit useless information. I'm glad you stopped by, though. Good to see you again.